Hey everybody, this is Rusty. Thanks for joining in for one of my yoga-inspired stretch and flex workouts. This is one of my favorite workouts to complete a week of strength training. It also gets me ready for my weekend of cycling activity, and it helps me keep my body in good shape. Enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our yoga-inspired stretch and flex class. Or workout, I should say. If you have not been to this class before, just know that we call it yoga inspired because it is not a traditional yoga class. We will go through some traditional yoga poses, but for the most part, we're looking to just take your joints and your muscles into a place where they feel good, where they get into a place where they don't normally get to, and to work on some areas that you might be a little tight, a little inflexible on. And we're going to do that by breaking out of some yoga poses and into some athletic stretches midway through our flow. So enjoy it. Always work at your own pace, your own intensity level, and as always, stretching should be mildly uncomfortable, but never painful. So please exercise that mindset as we get into some of the poses. Challenge yourself, but please do not hurt yourself. So we're just going to go through a little bit of breathing and moving to get warmed up. So just come up on your mat, take about a shoulder width stance. Make sure you're standing through the balls of your feet and your heels. You'll be able to lift all 10 of your toes up off the ground without losing your balance. Knees are soft with a little small pelvic tilt in just to take any pressure out of your low back. And just let your arms hang down. Now, if your arms are facing your body, I just want you to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, rotate your hands outward. And all that's going to do is take your shoulders and roll them back as well. And as you exhale, just let your hands fall back in. And just feel the shoulders, not the hands. So inhale, open, exhale, and release. Make sure as you're rolling those shoulders back, you're not pushing your hips forward and getting into that hyperextension in your low back. This is just a way to open up the lungs, be able to get in more breaths. And now let's take that into a nice full overhead extension. Inhale, connect the fingertips up top, and then exhale, full arms coming down. Inhale, again, wide. And exhale, coming down. One more time, and I want you to hold the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulders back without arching your low back. And then exhale down by your side. Go ahead and get to the front and center of your mat. Long ways, take a nice deep breath in, let the arms go overhead. And this time as you exhale, soften your knees, bend through the hips. Start by taking your hands just below your knees and press into the legs with your hands and extend your head straight forward and your hips straight back. Extending through the spine, straightening through the legs, and then easy, little bit by little bit, work your way down to your ankles, to your feet, and find yourself in forward fold. Belly button is tight. Head and neck is relaxed. Try to tighten the muscles in your thighs. That'll help lengthen the back of your legs. And we're going to come right back up. Soften the knees, drop the hips. Take a deep breath in, let the arms come forward and overhead. Exhale and bring them down. Open up the shoulders again. Inhale, take the arms up. And as you exhale, soften your knees, and here we go forward again. You can start with the knees or go down further. Once you find that sticking point, as I would call it, stop, take a breath, and as you exhale, lengthen the back of your legs. Let the head and shoulders down just a little bit further. Again, feel this through the hamstrings and your glutes. If you feel it in your low back, bring that belly button in. Maybe lift your head and shoulders up a little bit more.
Keep the hands down low, soften the knees, take your left leg back to a lunge, and we're going to drop that back knee to the floor. And all we're going to do is release the top of the foot to the floor, and just reach the hips forward. Make sure that front foot stays flat on the floor. We're straddling that right knee. Go back on your toes again on the back. Let that knee come up. We're going to drag that left foot back in. Find yourself in forward fold. Soften the knees. Take that right foot back. Drop to the back knee. Release to the foot. Shift your weight forward. Again, keep this alignment. Knee over ankle. Foot is flat on the front. Just relax that back leg. You push your hips forward. Go on that back toe again, let that knee come up. This time, take that front foot, bring it back. Then we're going to press into a downward dog. Make sure you can lift your fingertips. That means you're pressing through the palm of your hand. Sink the heels downward. Let the shoulder blades roll together. The hips go up and the heels go down simultaneously. Come forward to a straight arm plank. And as slow as we can, we're going to drop down to the floor. Get the elbows against the body. Release to the top of your feet. Keep your hips down, elbows in, and press to a baby cobra. Again, don't try to look up, so we don't want you to hurt your neck. Just kind of let your head be an extension of your spine. Squeeze on the glutes to keep your hips down. That protects the back while you open up the front. Release down. Tuck through your toes. Press up and back to a downward dog. Soften the knees. Bring that right foot all the way through. Left foot come with it. Extend the legs, relax the head. Soften the knees, drop the hips, take a deep breath in, arms come forward. And as you exhale, let the arms come down. Open up the hands, which means the shoulders open. Squeeze back. Inhale, arms forward. Keep the arms high. Bend the knees as much as you can, and then let the hands come forward and find the floor of your feet, ankles or shins, or whatever you can grab to help lengthen the back of your legs. Second time, third time around, should have a little bit more pliability there. Soften the knees, send that right leg back to a lunge. This time, stay off of the knee. Keep that right hand down and open up to that left side. Let your eyes follow that hand to the ceiling. Bring that hand back down. We're going to step back with that left foot to downward dog. And while we're here, we're going to bend that right knee, straighten the left leg a little bit further. And then switch. Bend the left, press a little stronger into the right. Switch again. Press through the hands, send some more energy to that left leg. Switch again. Level the feet. Press strong with both hands. Soften the knees. Bring that right foot all the way through. Keep that left knee off the ground. And extend through your spine. Keep the left hand down. Let's open up to the right side. Bring that hand down. Step that left foot in. Drop the head, lift the hips. knees, take a deep breath in, arms gonna reach forward and high. Roll the shoulders back without arching your low back. Bring your hands down, open up through the shoulders. One more time through, arms forward and high. Drop down low, and then take the hands forward, lengthening the legs. Step the left foot back. Now this time, turn that back foot into your warrior pose. Use that right hand to press yourself up. Keep that front leg bent. Take a deep breath in, let the hands come up into warrior one. Now lower the hips and draw the shoulders back. Press strong into that back leg. Now separate the hands and reach forward. Still pressing on that back leg. And now straddle and get back to downward dog. Soften your knees, bring that left foot all the way through. Turn that back foot to the warrior pose. Rise. Keep the hips and legs low. Arms come up, clasp the hands, draw the shoulders back, really press into that back foot and drop the hips even lower. Lengthen the back leg for support. Open up the arms and reach. Lower the hands down, pivot off that back foot, step back to a downward dog. Drop the heels, lift the hips, come forward to a straight arm plank, and just release to the knees. Open up a little bit further with the knees and drop back to a child's pose. Pull that left hand back a little bit and reach the right arm forward. Big breath in, exhale. Now switch, pull that right arm back to relax and reach the left arm forward. Come on back up to all fours. Take that right foot all the way through to the outside of your right hand. Now, pivot off that back foot, take the knee off the ground and just turn and open to a wide leg forward fold. Toes are going to turn in. Head is forward. Palms should be able to get to the ground. Now bend the knees just for a moment. Let the legs be soft. Keep that left hand on the ground. Bring your right hand toward the knee and then towards your waist. And even with the knees still bent, I want you to turn toward the right side and take that right hand up to the ceiling. Now once you've got that right hand up, press into the floor with your left hand and try lengthening the legs. Bend your knees, let that right hand come down, and we're going to swap it up. Right hand stays down. Keep the knees soft. Bring that left hand to your knee or to your waist. Turn your shoulders, turn your eyes up to the ceiling. Let that left hand extend, then press into the floor with the right hand and lengthen the legs. Soften the knees, bring both hands down. Now let your body weight shift forward into the balls of your feet so your heels can turn in and your toes out. Drop your butt, bend your knees, bring one hand at a time to your knees into like a little sumo squat. Be able to push out on those knees. And then slowly rise, straighten the legs. Just take a breath right here for a moment, but maintain that wide stance. Soften the knees, take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, bend from the hips back, bring those hands back to the floor. Bring that weight forward so you can turn the toes in and the heels out. Now just on your right side, I want you to bend the knee and turn that foot out to the side. That left leg is going to stay straight, right leg is going to bend. And all we're going to do is we're going to walk your hands toward that right foot. Not to touch it, just go in that direction. And as you do, feel your hips dropping, but keep that left foot connected to the ground. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, think about the inside of that left thigh getting a little closer to the ground. Now just turn and straddle that right leg. Keep that left leg still, turned out to the side. Now just slowly start to straighten that right leg. If you have to bring your hands up to the leg to support the upper body, that's fine, like this. That's perfectly fine, as long as we can get that right leg straight and get the work into that hamstring. Now, as you straighten the leg, think about pushing the hips backwards so you can really lengthen those muscles underneath on that right side. Bend that right leg again, bring those hands back to the center and walk the hands back in. We're going to find that wide leg forward fold again. Both feet, toes are turned in, heels are down, and just relax. Take a breath or two. Just the left leg now. Bend the knee, turn that foot out to the side. Don't be in a hurry with this. I want you to feel every bit of the muscles that come into play as you start to change dynamics of your stance and position. Now just slowly walk the hands toward the left foot, lowering the inside of that right leg toward the floor. Try to keep the sole of that right foot down. Take a breath, exhale, inside of that right thigh, closer to the ground. Now walk those hands around and straddle that left leg. Slowly start to straighten that left leg. Remember, if the hands need to come up the leg to help, that's fine. Again, try to pull the hips back, press into that back foot. And let the weight of your body help with that front leg. Soften that knee, bring that hand around, find that wide leg forward fold again. Let your body weight shift forward. Heels come up and turn in. Bend the knees, drop your butt one hand at a time, come to your knees.
And slowly come on up. And just walk heel toe back underneath your hips. We're going to take about 30 seconds to a minute break. Step off your mat. Feel free to get some water. Come on back and join me. When you come back, we're going to be on your knees, upright. Alright, as you come back to your mat, we're going to get to your knees. We're going to stay on your left knee. We're going to take that right foot out to the side, straight out to the side with you. You want to be able to make sure your foot can stay flat. So remember, you can tighten that muscle in your thigh to do that. And you should still be able to have your shoulders level. Remember, if you need to, you can fold that mat up underneath that left knee a little bit if you need more cushion. And from here, we're just going to explore a little bit of upper body range of motion. So take that left hand on your waist, take that right arm straight up in the air, and we're going to go over to the left side. Now, as we go over with the left side, slowly keep that right foot grounded. And then slowly come back up. Should feel a lot of work going on through your obliques, but also through the hips as they help stabilize. Let's go again. Remember, keep that right foot grounded. Slowly come back up. Now make sure that left leg isn't shifting side to side. Leg stays still, your pivot point is here. If we want more intensity out of that, take both arms up. Keep the hands like you're holding a soccer ball in between your hands and reach. And come back. You notice we're not bending in toward the sides with the leg that's extended. We don't want to go there. We only want to go away from that leg. That leg is already compromised a little bit by having it extended. Bending in that direction is just going to push more into that hip. So we're trying to go away. Last one. Good. Come on down. Bring the hands down. Come on back to both knees for a moment. All right, let's take that left leg out. Make sure the foot is forward, leg is straight, and foot is flat down. Make sure that hasn't changed your shoulder stability. For me, this actually helps activate the hips on my left side, the leg that's extended. So I'm going to keep the right hand on my waist to start. Left arm comes up. And all I'm going to do is just take an easy bend. Remember, my waist is my pivot point, not my hips, and I'm not leaning over. It's a bend. Ready? Go again. More intensity, both arms up. Remember, maintain the distance between your hands. Back up. Let's go 2 more times. In your range of motion, reach the arms away and come back. One more time. Good job. Come on back to both knees. I'm going to stay facing forward, but I have the luxury of having 2 mats here. You may need the length of your mat, so you may want to turn. I'm going to drop down to both hands and knees, and then we're going to bring that right foot to the outside of your right hand. And just lengthen that back leg. It's going to stay on the ground. Now just slowly take that right hand on the outside and walk that foot over to where the left hand is. Keep walking it over. and then just easily drop that knee to the ground. So you've got the back leg extended, that right leg is bent in front of you. Don't try to pull that knee in. Make sure that that foot goes straight out from the knee, parallel with your mat. Now, get those hands in front of your legs. We're gonna push into the mat, pushing your head high, and then that left hip bone, we wanna work toward your heel. Should feel all that stretching going on that right hip. Now just walk your hands over and we're going to straddle that right knee. Don't let that left hip raise. All we did is just turn our torso. And now let's try to collapse or release that upper body like you're trying to lie on top of that right thigh. Use your hands to press your back up. We're going to come back to center. Get up on that back toe and use the strength of your arms to press up and release that right leg back to all fours. Go and take a step back into a stretch. And then come on back to all fours. We're going to take that left foot to the outside of that left hand. Lengthen the back leg. Now bring that left hand to the outside of your left foot and start to walk that foot over toward the right hand. All the way over. And then lay that left knee down. So now your focus is back on keeping that right hip bone downward. Again, we're going to press into the floor, head and shoulders up, right hip bone stays down. Walk the hands over and straddle that left knee. And then get your body down on that left thigh. Use your hands to press yourself up. Come back to the center, tuck up on that back toe. Back to all fours. Now we did this last week in our frog pose. And I'm going to give you an added option for this one. So the first thing we need to do is get your heels together and get your knees wide, wide, wide. So that stretch we just got finished doing, you should have felt on the outside of your hips. Frog pose definitely goes to the inside. So keep the heels together. Drop to your forearms. Now do a pelvic tilt so that pressure doesn't go into your low back, and then reach your hips and your body weight of your torso forward. Just press into your forearms and sit back into a little stretch going backwards. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring it back forward and hit it again. Now the option I'm going to give you on this one is really just a positioning option. So come on back to your hands, keep the knees wide, but now instead of having the heels touch, take your feet as wide as your knees. Drop to your heels, tuck your pelvis under and go forward. It's just a different feel when you don't have the heels together. It's not right or wrong, it's just different.
pelvic tilt, push the hips underneath you and forward. Come back up to your hands, bring those knees back closer together, and sit back to a child's pose. More work in the hips. We're going to start with an easier version and then progress. This is one of my favorite stretches. It's the donkey kick into the hip opener. So with that left leg, keep the knee bent. Go straight up into your donkey kick. You've got to make sure you get that position first. Now, rotate and try to push that heel to the outside of your body without changing your arms and shoulders. So don't dive into your right side. Don't try to look the opposite way. And the really unseen part of this pose or stretch is the hip on my right side is pushing underneath while my left foot goes over the other way. Let's bring that knee down. Just take a nice deep breath in. We're going to stick with that same side. Left side again. Here we go. Up first, and then rotate. Don't be in a hurry and just throw it into rotation. You got to make sure everything is aligned properly. And besides, what's your rush anyway? Good. Come on down with that knee. Let's go to the other side. Flex the foot. Keep the knee at 90 degrees. Get that knee up as high as you can. Push the foot over. Remember, arms are straight, shoulders are level. And remember, that left hip now is pushing to the right side, while the right foot pushes to the left side. Good, bring it down. Take a breath, and take it back up. Up and over. So I'm going to give you the higher version of this, and that's doing the hip openers from the down dog position. Three-legged dog with the hip opener, if you want to get technical with it. But remember, as we go up into that position, if anything feels like it's uncomfortable, and this is a really hard pose, drop back down to this position and do another set down here. But for now, tuck the toes, hips up, press back to downward dog. Start with that left side. Bend the knee, just like you go into a donkey kick, and push it over. Now, as you push it over, don't forget to drop that right heel and push the right hip underneath you. Shoulders are level, arms are the same. Really open it up. Bring it back. Come forward to a straight on plank first. Take a nice breath. Exhale, back to downward dog. Right side. Bend the knee, push the heel, take it over. Bring it down and drop to your knees. Now, I'm going to take those two things we just did, downward dog or this all fours position, and we're going to go into a nice little forward and back stretch. Follow along. Again, you can do this on your knees or you can do it in down dog, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go from down dog. So starting your plank, we're going to bring that left foot forward outside of that left hand. Again, you can do this on your knees or on your toes, either way. Now from here, back to the three-legged dog and open up. Bring that knee all the way back outside of that left hand. Forward again. Again, do it from your knees if you like, Here we go again, back to the three-legged dog and open it up. One more time, outside of that left hand. Drop your hips and reach forward. And let's go back to three-legged dog. Come back to all fours if you're not there already. Back to a child's pose. Come up to all fours. Stay here if you want, or get off the knees if you like. Here we go, right foot to the outside of your right hand. Shift your weight forward. Press back. Three-legged dog and open. Foot to the outside of your hand. Go forward. Take it back. Don't forget to lower that left heel. One more time, bring it around. And take it back. Back to all fours. Sit back on your heels and come on up. Take 1 minute, guys. Off your mat, grab some water if you need it. We're going to come back to a seated position to finish up with.
That last little sequence is fun. Don't try that one cold, however. Make sure you're nice and loose for it. Okay, come on back. Have a seat and lie back. Hug your knees as you do. Push your knees together and just draw little circles with your knee, kind of massaging your low back into the ground. And change directions. Now just get your right knee with both hands, extend that left leg out. And it doesn't matter if if that left leg is on the ground or if you want to hold it up. Just pull that right knee in as far as it wants to go, but be active with the left leg. I want you to push the heel away from you as you're pulling the right knee in. And now just slowly switch. Right leg goes out, left knee comes in. Really push that right leg as straight as you can go as you relax that left leg and pull it in. Switch again. One more time. Now we're going to transition those pulls and extensions into a hamstring stretch. So instead of pulling the knee in, leg goes straight up, extend that left leg out, right leg up. Remember, if you grab behind the knee, chances are the knee's going to bend, so you either need to grab the hamstring or the calf, as long as you're not bending the leg. Switch it. Switch. One more time. And let's get both knees bent and feet to the floor. Right foot across your left knee. And make sure it's your foot that's across the knee, not your ankle or your shin. You want to be able to have as much leverage as you can. So push that right knee away as you're anchoring your back to the floor. Now take that right hand, go between your legs, the left hand goes around the knee, grab the front of your knee and pull. Try to keep that left foot relaxed as you pull. And
Just release the knee, but keep the foot crossed. And now use that right foot to pull that left knee all the way in and down. And put as much pressure on it as you want, as long as your shoulders can stay flat. Release the foot, come back to center. Left foot across the right knee. Anchor your back, push the knee away. Reach through with the left hand, around with the right, grab it and pull. Keep that right foot relaxed. Release the foot down, use that left foot to come to bring that right knee all the way across and down. And release that foot. So we're going to take that particular stretch and try to bring it into a little rhythm here. So I want you to take your feet wide, probably wider than your mat. And we're going to open up the outside of your right knee and the inside of your left knee to the floor. Shoulders stay flat. Now keep the distance between your feet, bring your knees back up and go in the other direction. Now let's work it side to side a few times. Hold that downside just for maybe a breath or two, and then swing it to the other side. And what you want to feel is your shoulders getting more stable and your hips be getting a little bit more movement. Okay, so if you're moving your knees to the left and your shoulders want to go that way, get your focus into your shoulders and really lock them down, so the only thing that can move are your hips. One more time to each side. Now bring your knees and feet back together. Get the soles of your feet together, let the knees drop out to the side. And now that big space between your low back and the floor, try to get rid of it. Pelvic tilt as you push your back to the floor by pushing your heels together isometrically so they don't move, and let your knees stay out. Knees come back together. Hug your knees back in, tuck your chin to your chest, rock yourself back and forth a few times. Use your hands next to your hips. Kind of push yourself up to a squatted position. So you'll be on the balls of your feet, hands are out in front. And from here, we're going to drop the heels, lift the hips and lower the head, so you're going to end up in that forward fold again. So if you need to, bring those hands to your feet, ankles or shins. Soften your knees, drop your hips, take a deep breath in, reach the arms wide and overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale, arms come down by your side. Let them find their way behind you. Interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders back, press your hands away. And release. Nice work today, everybody. Thank y'all so much for coming in. Great job. And I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed that workout. Remember, tell your friends, share the video if you like, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at oddr.fitnesspro